series. This is going to be a tutorial, as I've had several people ask me for advice on the game, and both on stream and here, and so I decided I would make a tutorial series with it being nice and updated. There is a wonderful, wonderful series that was made by Roomba a few years ago. Thing is, there have been some changes. I am going to be playing this with all packs enabled, so some things I will be able to do. If you're missing some packs, you won't be able to do them. But the patches are correct, and they have changed a number of things. One thing that I'm going to be starting with is I'm going to be starting in the 769 period, because this is going to be a pagan tutorial. We are going to play pagans, and we are going to form a kingdom, possibly an empire, but definitely a kingdom, and we are going to reform a faith. We're going to walk ourselves through all of that. Or walk you through, I'll walk you through it? Something along those lines. Alright. If there's something specific you would like explained that is not covered in this tutorial, or is perhaps is something that is more overarching, then please leave a comment down below or join my Discord. There's a link in the description down below. And go ahead and ask there if either I can explain there or I'll make a short video with the tutorial series. There is a series of videos that are just short tutorials about the UI and everything. Alright, but let's get started. So we're going to start in 769, which she does require the Charlemagne DLC. If you have, let's say you have Holy Fury and you only have the base game, when it comes to starting as a pagan, you are very limited, and it's a very dangerous and rather hard to start as a pagan in 1066 without knowing what you were doing. You might do okay with the Horse Lords, but then of course you would need the Horse Lords DLC to play them. It might be about the same if we're going to play here, which is where we are going to play. We're going to be playing as Jersica, and you could start with Jersica in 1066, and you could possibly do what we're going to be doing here, but you would have the worries of getting holy warred by your Orthodox and Catholic neighbors. If we jump to 769, we're surrounded by Slavs, and they're not very unified, so they're going to be busy fighting themselves as well as us, and hopefully we can build up fast enough that we can survive them. That is a worry. I will say that starting as a pagan is a lot of fun, but expect a few game overs, or if you're not playing an Iron Man, just save, roll back, try again. RNGesus likes to mix things up quite a bit, and every time you try it, something different will happen. Alright, so what we've got around here in the 769 start is Catholics are strong, but there's a lot of pagans. There are a lot of pagans, and quite often in the 769 start, the Catholics kind of fall apart. I've seen lately the Germanics kind of take over. Same with the 867 start. We could do the 867 start as well, but again, you've got some bigger blobby neighbors here, and it creates a little bit of some issues. Also, if you would like to see an 867 start in this area, feel free to check out my Estonia video where I start as this guy. And, well, I'm still playing it on stream as of this moment, but we do pretty darn well. But that was not a tutorial series. That is me playing at my normal speed, my normal style. So we're going to move back to 769, and we're going to start as Latgale. As you can see, even in the Viking Age, he's separate. You could start as any of them. But we're going to jump all the way back here. We're going to start as this guy. He is a count. He controls 3 counties. We're taking him for a couple reasons. One is that his de jure, or his counties, are part of the de jure duchy of these 4 counties. And we'll get to that. That's very important. But that's very, very important. But we're going to do this. And one thing to know is when we're loading in with him, is while his age and his name are set, his stats are not. So, when I load in with him, I could be loading in with 0 military points, and so have the worst army around. I could be loading in and getting 20 military points, and be really, really good. I could be loading in and having no children. I could be loading in and having a son. I don't know. So that's one thing. If you load in the game for your first time, and he's got 0 military, no kids, he's terrible across the board, just resign, restart. It'll be easier for you in your first pagan game. Alright, we're going to start with him. We're going to start the count. For the rules, I'll just go through. Various. Generate families is on. Yes. Monks, there will be no dojable worshippers. We'll set it to default. I'll even set China to default. All. Yeah, let's talk about China. Within range, default. So pretty much everything is going to be, I will just reset rules to their default value. So Exclave's off. Exclave you can turn on to make things neater, but that might make things harder for you learning the game. Everything's default. Everything will be default. One thing to know with Warfare is they have Shattered Retreat. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. I'm very apologies. I'm not tired, I've just been yawning all day. It's the darndest thing. I think it's allergies and the weather. There's like thunderstorms, and so I just, not cool. I'm not sleepy though. Alright, so we have Shattered Retreat, which means that when an army is defeated, they go running away for several counties. If you want an easier time, turn it off. If you're familiar with EU4, then leave it on because it's the same thing that you see in Europa. Army movement lock, they just added with Holy Fury. It means that when you are halfway to the next county, your troops cannot turn back and run away. That's very nice if you pay attention and use it properly. If you're worried that you're not going to pay attention to it, just turn it off. Again, if you're familiar with Europa and not Crusader Kings, this is what you're used to playing with. I would just not worry about it. Leave them on. Leave everything else on. That's pretty much it. One thing you could do is if you wanted to make things a little harder, it's like right now the Aztec invasion is off. I mean, you could turn it on if you had that expansion. Many people don't. You could also make things easier or harder by having the Mongols invade sooner, or you could just turn the Mongols off if you're really worried about them. But we're starting in 769. They won't be here till the 1200s. If your first game is at all like Mind Game, you'll be restarting it after about 100, 200 years because you want to try something else because the world is that big and wide and wonderful. All right. And that's going to be it. I do have achievements disabled and Iron Man disabled. But we're going to load in. There's the game. And I apologize, the game is muted. There we go. Now we have the game. All right. So, what we just saw there, sorry, you can always come back up here and get it again on the little eye. It tells you what are the special features of your religion and your culture and your government. Our culture has nothing. Our government, we are tribes, which was something introduced with the Old Gods expansion. We will talk about them as we play them. Same for our religion. The important things to know is that priests can marry. Women can own temple holdings. You can raid. It says infidel neighbors, but you can raid anybody around you. It always says infidel neighbors. It's a lie. Or it's a secret, maybe. But you can raid anybody around you. So we're hard to convert. We can have 3 concubines. And another reason for playing the Romuvas is that when someone is attacking you and they are not another pagan, they have very, very, very low supply in your counties. And so their troops tend to die in the bucket loads. When you are a Catholic attacking a pagan, it is the worst thing ever. But when you are a pagan getting attacked by a Catholic or an Orthodox or a Muslim, it is the bee's knees. Women can be spy masters. There's no religious head. We can be reformed. That's going to be important. We are inferior at conversion because we're unreformed. And we cannot declare holy wars. Alright. So we're going to come in. Game starts out. It's in the lovely, lovely terrain map, which is so pretty, but we're going to just go click on realms and jump out of that. And we will probably never go back onto the terrain map the entire game. Alright. So we're going to move in. And see, most of the map is in fog of war. We can't see what troops are moving. We can see our counties, and we can see the counties directly adjacent to ours. And these are our 3 counties. They're okay little counties. We look at them. We've got 1.8 total ducats. We've got 3 sub-holdings down here, which we can't build anything but a church. We could build another tribe, but there can only be 1 tribe in each county. So that's buildable in case you conquer, say, like this county, and you want to build a tribe there because you don't live in castles. You're a tribe, damn it. Alright, but that's not the point. You're not going to be building these anytime soon. And that's a lot of gold. You can also click. This is your capital building. You can click on any pictures and it will take you to show you what buildings are there. This whole tribe has nothing. This tribe has nothing. This tribe has nothing. You can build with gold. You can build with piety. That's what the little triangle is. And you can build with prestige. Those are talked about in other videos, but consider them types of currency. Money is money. Prestige is kind of how famous, how well known you are. And piety is how religious you are. There's different ways to get it. So I'm seeing that we have 3 out of 5 demands. That's actually a good sign. In some ways. So we've loaded in. We're kind of lucky here. We have a lot of troops. My test game, this guy had like 800 troops. Okay, we got lucky. Again, you didn't get lucky. You don't like it. Resign, restart. No one's gonna know. And when you're trying to learn the game, it makes life easier. Alright, we've got 3 kids. We have a boy and we have 2 girls. Next thing to do is if you hover over your little flag right here, it tells you that our line of succession is agnatic eldership. And you're like, agnatic? What is that? We go up here to our laws, as shortcut F4, and it will tell you gender laws, succession laws. This is what we have. So with agnatic, it doesn't tell you here, or it says you there at the very last line, only males can inherit. Agnatic means only boys. Agnatic cognatic, you can see the gender symbols, means boys inherit first, and then girls can inherit if there are no boys. Absolute cognatic is only girls and boys are equal. Because of religion reformations, you can also flip it, so instead of agnatic, you are enatic, and girls rule the land. But that's something for later, but there are ways to do that, if anyone is curious. And then we have succession laws. Another reason to start as these lovely, lovely little Letagalian Ramuvas is that we have eldership. Eldership can be a little confusing in terms of figuring out how to get them to vote for what you want. That's okay. Don't get too upset if they're voting for someone you don't want. The game's not going to end. You're going to play as that person because they will only vote for your family. And it's much better than the other 2 options you have as a tribe. The other 2 options are Gavelkind, where your lands will get split among your sons. So if we had 2 sons right now and we died, our oldest son would get 2 of these counties, our youngest son would get a 3rd county, and our realm would split. Because counts cannot be under counts. See my tutorial videos for more explanations on that. There'll be a link to that series in the description down below. Or elective Gavelkind, which does the same thing, except you can pick which kid you want to be, or you could pick to be your brother, but it'll actually create titles. So let's say I go to De jure Kingdoms, and I owned all of Estonia and all of Lithuania, but everything, I only had 1 king title. I was King of Lithuania. And I had elective Gavelkind, and I had 2 sons. My first son, I died. My first son would become the King of Lithuania. He'd get all this. My second son would become the King of Estonia, because it would create the Kingdom of Estonia, just to give my son. It can be very frustrating and can make a lot of hair pulling occur when you are new to the game and trying to deal with Gavelkind and elective Gavelkinds. It's kind of messy. Stick with eldership if you've got it. And that's what we're going to be doing here to make your life easier. Alright, we are a thrifty clerk, which is nice in that it gives more fertility, and because we're not cavalcand, we would like lots of babies. It'd be very lovely. More chase though, which cuts down on our fertility. We do have a lovely wife here who is a gray eminence, so she's plus 10%, so we kind of even out. We're plus 5, minus 15, she's plus 10, we're all even. Alright, so we go back to ourselves, and this is us. Woohoo! We got a fun beard. If you have the DLC for it, you can go in and give him a haircut. Like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm gonna look like a monk. Ho ho! There we go. How ugly can I be? Have fun with that. Alright, but let's go take a look up here. These are little notifications. If you've played any Paradox game, you know they like putting little notifications up here. First one, new important decisions are available. We can go worship the ancestors. We are going to do that, but not right now, because it requires either sacrificing an eyeball, sacrificing a prisoner, or paying money. We don't have a lot of money. We need our money. We've only got 2 eyeballs. We need our eyeballs. And if we go and we look at prisoners, we have no prisoners. So don't do that right now. Just wait. Just wait. Alright, next, successor nomination. It says, who do you want to vote for? We go here and nominate successor. I don't know. Who do we want to vote for? It's not so important right now. You just pick the kid. There's electors. We have 1 elector. It's us. Nobody else gets to vote at the moment. That'll change, but that's it. One duchy, one title can be created. The Duchy of Latvia, which if we go and we look at de jure duchies, is right here. That's pretty cool. Except it's, you know, 199 ducats and we got 40. We do control 75% of the duchy, which is important because you need at least 51% to create the duchy, which can be easier and harder with some duchies depending on the size of them. But we probably won't be creating this anytime soon. We're going to be doing some other stuff. Next, pagan ambition. So we come here and we look at our ambitions. We've got a nice wide selection. Again, if you are on base game only, you will see a very different amount. And different types. The ones we have create a treasury, which we need 3 artifacts. That's our treasury. It's currently empty. It's very sad. We're probably not going to be able to get 3 artifacts. So we're just going to leave that for now. We can make a friend. That would be lovely to make a friend, but it's also a little bit random. And while the +1 diplomacy is nice, it's not the end of the world, though we are very, very bad at being diplomatic. Next one is strengthen the realm of a religion, because it is currently below 30%. Go to check religions. There's Ramova. Yep, our moral authority is 20 because we control 2 religious sites, and that's it. Yeah, we're a little bit weak. Back here though to ambitions. You click your little head. You always open up your little character portrait. You have a paragon of virtue. If we get 2,000 piety, that's a nice goal. It also gives more moral authority to the realm of a religion, which is very nice, and we might be doing that at some point with a different character. Probably not him. But we're not going to do that. Next one, become King of Lithuania. Gives you 5k prestige. And if you read that wall of text, it's not really a wall. It's actually not too bad. Then because we are pagan, we get Casus Belli, reasons to attack everybody who owns land inside the Kingdom of Lithuania, which I think is a pretty good deal. Other options though, see the realm prosper. Don't go to war for 5 years. You gain 1 stewardship and every province, county in your realm gets better. They get a prosperity boost, which you can see prosperity. You can't see that. There's the hospital, and prosperity would show up here. We don't have any prosperity. It's kind of sad. No one actually starts the game with it, as you can see. It'll be a green square right there. We'll look at it at some point when it appears. Alright. Next up, build a war chest. Since we are a count, we need 300 gold. If we were a duke, we need 500, a king 700, emperor 1,000. That's good. It's a nice ambition. We're not going to worry about it. Groom and heir. While active, fertility is increased by 20%, which is pretty darn awesome. Thing is, we have a son. And we're going to do some other stuff to help with the babies. So we're not going to worry about that because the most important thing for us right now would be to become King of Lithuania. We want to eat all the other little small fishies before more big fishies can form and come after us. Alright, and then next, pick a character focus. This is from the Way of Life DLC. It's very fun. It gives all sorts of options and bonuses. And, well, we would like to get a little bit better with our martial score, because then we might have more troops. So we could choose that, which gives us personal combat. But this guy, he's an idiot with a sword. He barely knows which end is which. And we really don't want him to die while his son is, well, his son's 13. He's not too bad. He is chaste, though. Ugh. Basically, we want to try and make more babies, though we are chaste ourselves. So, we're totally going to go hunting for this. So we get a little bit of martial. We get some health. Other good options would be, if you wanted to go family, you get some diplomacy, which is, you know, not too bad, because you've got none. You get plus 25% fertility and plus 1 health. So this is a very solid option if you don't know what you're going to take. Theology helps you get piety and plus 1 health, which is a lovely. Hunting is the plus 1 health. Seduction's also good in that fertility, intrigue. Intrigue's good if you're a vassal or you've got plans to put yourself on the throne. That's not really the pagan game, though. At least not at this level. So we're going to go hunting and hope for the health and the martial and create a strong, stable kingdom to leave our son. And our son, we have to pick an education focus for him. If you don't have Conclave, it's different. And really, he's chaste and honest. And he has no other stats because the game is currently bugged right now. So if someone is 12 years old, a kid is 12 years old or older, or any kid is under, they only have some traits. And they have no stats. And our daughters are both cruel and chaste and... bad rolls, but we're gonna just try and make him martial focused. Because of events and such, we can possibly make things better. In fact, because of events and such, we will still join the Band of Medina. We won't actually fight anyone besides joining, but this is the new warrior lodges. We're gonna join them. We're probably gonna get wounded in the fight, but it should be okay. The next one is special minor titles grantable. If you don't want to mess with it, you can always auto-assign commanders for your troops. But this early, the best thing to do would be to check and make sure, yep, you're just a courtier. You're my spy master. My spy master has to be at home spying. He can't lead troops. Let's go find someone else. You're my chancellor. You're my steward. You can also tell by the little gears up, the little hammers up there. You're a nobody. I guess you get to be a commander. Because if your council is on the is a commander, then they're not doing their stuff. Which isn't too bad, because you can always, like, turn them off. Good lord, you're a bad spy master. We actually point our wife, but you see she hates us, so it's probably not a good idea. Though he hates us too. Actually, let's make her white. Well, no, because then we'd have less intrigue overall, the way it works. But we're not going to do that. But we're going to be ending this episode here. We will first go and get a court physician. For cheap, you can just select a guy here, or you can go here. No, we don't actually have the option right now, so never mind. So for cheap, court physician, we pick this guy with the highest learning. He's got no, he's not a cannibal. So, we're okay. We're insane. Those are bad traits to have your doctor have. And we're going to leave it right here. We're going to unpause the game in the next episode and start on our path to kingdom. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. Subscribe to the channel and help it grow. Bye, y'all!